Our network is here.
Hold no punches.
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig? Today is Monday, August 8th, 2022. Coming up, Roland Martin Unfiltered, streaming live on the Black Star Network. An alarming video goes viral showing a Mississippi state trooper assaulting a handcuffed black man. We'll talk to a Mississippi state representative and the town's mayor where it happened. A racist text causes an Alabama town to lose its entire police department. I'll show you that text. The white man who killed black jogger Ahmaud Arbery got sentenced in federal court today, and they'll be spending a long time in federal prison. State prison, but also the federal sentencing. The Republican Accountability PAC just dropped an ad, a vicious ad targeting Georgia's Republican Senate nominee Herschel Walker. The explosive ad uses sound bites of his ex-wife accusing him of threatening to shoot her and other violent acts while they were married. I'll talk to the organization's political director. Plus, we'll have some of the memoriams of African Americans we lost over the weekend. And in today's Fit, Live, Win segment, fasting versus traditional dieting. We'll talk about which is better for weight loss. It is time to bring the funk on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Let's go.
He's got it. Whatever the miss, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, roll, y'all. It's Roland Martin, yeah. Rolling with Roland now. He's funky, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now.
All right, folks, another week, another vicious video showing a officer attacking a black man. This video comes from Macomb, Mississippi, and it shows a member of the Mississippi Highway Patrol violently handling a black man in custody. That video has been viewed over 500,000 times on social media. As we always do, I want to warn you that you're about to see is triggering and hard to watch. So if you need to walk out of the room, turn away, now is the time to do so. Here is this altercation in Mississippi.
This man don't lie. This man just got through jumping on the man while he was in the car. This man just got through jumping on this man while he was in the car, y'all. Yeah, we looking at you choke the man. That's why you told us to stop. We looking at you choke the man. We gonna stay back, but we gonna record you. We gonna record you. We want to know why you was in that car. We want to know why you was in the car jumping on him. We want to know why you was in the car jumping on him. We want to know why you was in the car jumping on him. Just wait. Man, don't grab him. Hey, man, don't do that shit, bro. Hey, I got him on live. I got his ass on live. He got him fucking handcuffed, man. You ain't had no business jumping on him. Look at this shit. Look at this shit, man. Look at this shit, y'all. Look at this shit. He got on handcuffs.
He got on handcuffs.
Now he got on handcuffs. He got on handcuffs.
He got on handcuffs. Yeah, bitch. We got you.
We don't care. You need to be going. You need to be going.
Bitch, y'all been getting away with this.
You need to be going to jail.
Going to jail.
You need to be going to jail. That shit don't make no sense.
Don't get a lawyer.
That shit don't make no sense. You need to be going to jail.
You going to jail. You going to jail. And then when we come back, he was on top of you, kneeing you and fighting on you and everything.
Man, this man jumping on him, man. All up finna go to jail, so somebody come get him. But this man right here jumping on the man. Y'all just seen the wrestle the man down. The man got on handcuffs. It's easy to break his wrist like that. It's easy to break his wrist like that.
You had him in the backseat, beating on him and everything. That's why he kept telling us, go ahead. Yeah, we see you when we pulled up. You had him in the backseat, kneeing him and everything. You got to leave him aside, bro.
That's how George Floyd got killed. That's how George Floyd died. Hey, that's how George Floyd died. Hey, that's how George Floyd died. Hey, that's how George Floyd died right there. Hey, you remember George Floyd? That's how George Floyd died right there. Hey, he got handcuffs on him. You was in the car jumping on him. You in the car jumping on him. You shut up. Ain't no shut up. We don't give a damn. You was just in the backseat beating him up. Man, take us to jail. Take us to jail. Man, we seen you in the backseat beating him up while you already restrained.
You dead motherfucking wrong, man. Get me out these bushes, bro. You dead wrong, bro.
Man, somebody get Magnolia Police out here, man. See what they got going on out here. This McComb. Man, McComb Police, please come out here. We don't mind going to jail.
I'll talk over.
But this shit ain't right. We just caught the state trooper in the back seat. He ran us out.
Reports say Eugene Lewis was stopped for going 35 miles per hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. Let me say it again. 5 miles an hour. But even that is unclear. Folks, it is amazing. Again, so you see these bystanders intervening, speaking. Joining us right now is the Macomb Mayor, Cordelia Lockley, also Mississippi State Representative Darrell L. Porter Jr. Glad to have both of you here. First of all, Mayor Lockley, the first thing, what have you found out? All of that for going 5 miles an hour over the speed limit?
Understand that I've talked to the family. I have talked to my police officer, our police chief. I was disturbed, very alarmed by this video. And after viewing that, I called Representative Porter because the Highway Patrol is out of my jurisdiction as the mayor, and asked him as a state representative if he would contact the commissioner as it relates to this incident. But it's very disturbing.
Representative Porter, I'm watching the video, and the brother is standing along the side of the road. He's just sort of pacing back and forth. Then all of a sudden, the officer just begins to slam to the ground, roll into the grass. I mean, I don't understand. And then as you listen to the video, you hear the men saying they saw the officer beating on this black man in the back of the seat, in the back of the car. And what I don't understand is, what if the man is handcuffed, why is he not in the back of the vehicle?
Yeah, Roland, I think that's a good point that you bring out. One of the first things I noticed as well when viewing the video after the mayor called me about the incident, and I viewed the video, the first thing pops up in my head is, why is there a handcuffed individual standing in the street? Why is this individual not in the back of the car? I will say, obviously, there's a lot of things that we don't know that led up to the point of us seeing the video. But what, obviously, and looking at the video, it was alarming. And that's why, as the mayor stated earlier, I did reach out to the commissioner of public safety.
So, okay, so guys, everybody in the control room, I want y'all to roll that back 30 seconds because this is what is illogical to me, Mayor Lockley. Okay, so play it right there, guys. So Eugene Smith is walking around. All of a sudden, you see him grab him. He then takes him over to the car. Then he tosses him on the ground. They roll into the grass. What I'm confused by, he's already handcuffed. Normally when you see this, it's them taking someone to the ground to handcuff him. Then you see it right now, and now his knee is on his chest. What more restraint can he do? That just makes, okay. So was it to throw him to the ground? Was it to put the knee in his chest?
I don't know what exactly caused him to do that. For me, once you have handcuffed the person, you have him now restrained. You should put him in the vehicle and transport him. He was standing on the outside, walking around, and he was standing there looking at him walk around. And I don't understand why he had to grab him, why he had to toss him to the ground, why he rolled him into the wooded area. That's why it's so disturbing to me.
Representative Porter, I mean, go ahead, I'm sorry.
You know, piggybacking off of what the mayor said, all those why questions is one of the reasons why, you know, why I contacted the Commissioner of Public Safety, who I have a really great working relationship with, and he's been extremely responsive to me as well, for them to launch an investigation so we can get to the bottom of why this transpired, and also, more importantly, so we can keep something like this, prevent something like this from transpiring in the future.
It's just absolutely a shame, and unfortunately, we see this happening way too often. Mayor Lockley, have you heard from the governor?
Have not heard from the governor, nor have I heard from the commissioner. However, again, my contact at the state level right now is with Representative Porter. He has a little more weight, carries a little more weight with state agency than a mayor does.
And Representative Porter, have you heard from the governor?
No, sir, I have not.
Well, that is Governor Tate Reeves. Gentlemen, we certainly appreciate you joining us on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Roland.
Bringing my panel, Dr. Julian Malveaux, Dean of the College of Ethics Studies at California State University, LA, Dr. Omokongo Dabinga, Professorial Lecturer, School of International Service, American University's Brianna Cartwright, Political Strategist. Glad to have all three of you here. Press play, new day. Omokongo, press play, new day. It's just one after the other, how law enforcement treats black folks.
Yeah, and you know, first of all, I want to applaud the people who are recording because they were not bystanders. They were upstanders for this brother. They made it clear. We don't care if we go to jail. That we don't care whatever you say. And they were even talking about calling the police on the police, which we also saw when George Floyd was murdered. There were people who were calling the police who were on record as doing that. I believe it was the martial artist brother. And we also see that, you know, last week when we were talking about this, we were talking about the importance of dash cams and how they have been important in many cases. But we also have to be mindful of the fact that in some cases, some of these officers do not care. It's almost as if they're emboldened by the cameras, like they're sticking their chest out. Like, come on, what? I don't care what you're going to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And this is why what we saw happen last week with Breonna Taylor and the Justice Department is extremely important, because we see that there is a Justice Department. Like you said, Governor Reeves isn't going to do much. We know that. We can already put that out there. But the Justice Department is watching, and we all talk about how they move slowly. But our hope is that this type of footage makes its way up there, but it shouldn't even have to go that far, because the leadership in Mississippi doesn't care for protecting our rights. And so really, at the end of the day, when I see a video like this, as frustrating as it is, I just become more frustrated at the fact that we didn't get this George Floyd police reform bill. This is another reason why these midterms are so important, because these guys need to be on blast and on notice. And lastly, we need to do thorough investigations, media outlets and law enforcement, whoever, DOJ, into who these officers are, because we know that racists and MAGA people are infiltrating the military at all levels and infiltrating our police departments as well, so they can go and do these actions and get away with them, and they need to be called out as well. All of the information about this officer needs to be put out so we know more about him than the person he arrested and assaulted.
And Julie, on that particular point right there, we know for a fact, law enforcement, there are white supremacists, neo-Nazis on police forces as we speak, all across America.
And in the words of Nina Simone, Mississippi, goddamn. I mean, when you think about it, while this happens all over the country, north, south, east, west, Mississippi is the crux of the Klan, the crux of white supremacy or white wannabe supremacy, the crux of what has been happening to our people. This guy was out of order, out of line, out of control. I mean, the man was handcuffed. He was handcuffed. What could he possibly do? This man was simply asserting his ability to exercise his power over this man. And right on, as Omakongo says, right on to those brothers who are hollering at him, who are telling him, look, he's already in handcuffs, stop it, you were beating him in the back of the car. These are the witnesses, and we need these witnesses to continue to stand up. This, Roland, when you look at this, I mean, I watched it 2 or 3 times. You sent us the link, and every time I watch it, I start cussing in my office, which, you know, that's not unusual. But I'm like, what is going on here? Look at this. He's climbing on the man. He's treating the man like he's nothing. And right on to the mayor, right on to the brother in the ledge. But the bottom line is, we need to know who this dude is. He needs to be run out of his job. He needs to be run out of Macomb, Mississippi. And again, like Nina Simone says, Mississippi, goddamn. It happens in Chicago. It happens in Wisconsin. But in Mississippi, it is especially pernicious. We talk about, and the roots of Mississippi racism spread out to the rest of the country. The Oakland police force in California, as an example, they recruited Mississippi patrollers to come to Oakland back in the 1950s. And that's why you had a Black Panther Party. And we could go on and on and on. Well, these folks are known for their brutality. They are known for their brutality, and it has to stop.
Breonna, those brothers who were videotaping, the cop was threatening them with jail. They said, fine, we'll go to jail.
Yeah, I think we need to have more people like that. I think the issue is, and we saw that a lot more before Floyd, and I'm very appreciative that they said, you know, this is how George Floyd died, and he repeated and repeated and repeated it, because I think maybe that allowed him to refrain a little bit more from what he could have been doing in order to not have another George Floyd occur. And I do think before they would threaten, right? And you would have to say, as an attorney, we have the right to report, right? We're not interfering with what you need to do for your protection or putting him in the back of the car, which it was stated he was already in the back of the car. So I'm not quite sure why he was pulled from the back of the car. And that's problematic in the first place. And then we saw the truck coming up. And so even with the truck, okay, maybe he's saying, okay, move to the side for safety measures, or making sure that nothing nefarious goes on for that. Maybe he said, get in the grass, and he didn't want to get in the grass. I'm not quite sure. But when he was in the car handcuffed, it was already should have been a done deal. Whether he was waiting for backup or someone else to bring him, I'm not quite sure. But there was no reason for him to take him out of the car when he was handcuffed in the back of the car. I heard what the mayor said. There's a lot of dissatisfaction still with that. Hopefully, I mean, it seems like it was a state trooper, so we don't have any response for the governor. Maybe writing letters would facilitate that and have a deeper investigation in regards to it, because, you know, Mississippi has one of the lowest education rankings in the nation. And there's a lot of training. There's a lot of lack of actually getting to where some of the rest of the nation is. But as we see in the South, there's just a lot of racism, right? And so, you know, what he thinks is okay, clearly is not. We'll talk about that later in the show, where people use excuses because they didn't know any better yet, that we're not back in the Jim Crow days and can do this. Because as someone stated, he was egging it on, like, okay, I don't care that you're recording me. I can still do X, Y, and Z. This is my job. This is my entitlement. I'm in Mississippi. And I think more of these cameras, more of the proliferation of seeing this and allowing for, the nation to be in uproar and come in and say, you know what? No, we need to retrain. You do not need to be an officer. This is what needs to occur. Needs to happen more, and hopefully these videos being seen facilitates this.
All right, folks, hold tight 1 second. I got to go to a break. When we come back, we'll talk with the Republican Accountability PAC, a slamming 30-second ad against Herschel Walker, who is the Republican nominee for the U.S. Senate. We'll talk to them next. Folks, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, Instagram, and those platforms, please hit the like button, hit the share button, so we can affect that algorithm. Also, I want everyone who's watching to understand that our target this month is to raise $100,000 through our Bring the Funk fan club. If 2,000 of our followers give on average $50 each, averages out to $4.19 a month, 13 cents a day. We will raise that amount of money. We're actually behind where we were last year. We've got some major initiatives coming up in September, October, and November. HBCU games, also going and hitting HBCU campuses. Also, folks, we're going to be covering political campaigns all across the country. Your resources allow us to be able to do so. So please support us by joining our Bring the Funk fan club. Also downloading our Black Star Network app. First off, the app. First of all, I'll go and do the giving first. Go back to the other graphic, please. If you want to support us with our Bring the Funk fan club, again, check in money orders to P.O. Box 57196. Actually, folks, you have the wrong graphic up, so please get the right graphic up. That's the wrong one. The address needs to be on there. The app, Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. Again, if you want to support us, cash and checks to go to P.O. Box, check our money orders, P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C., 20037-0196. Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com. We'll be right back.
When we invest in ourselves, our glow, our vision, our vibe, we all shine. Together, we are Black beyond measure.
On the next Get Wealthy with me, Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, you see the headlines. All frightening, right? Interest rates are going up. The recession is on the way. The stock market is up and down. But you know what they say, scared money don't make money. That's why I'm excited on our next Get Wealthy to have a conversation with someone who has written a new book, Fearless Finances, and she's going to share exactly what you need to do to secure your bag regardless of the ups and downs of the economy or the stock market.
Oftentimes you can start with as little as $5.
That's right here, only on Get Wealthy on Black Star Network.
When we invest in ourselves, we all shine. Together, we are Black beyond measure.
Next on the Black Table with me, Greg Carr. Succession. We're hearing that word pop up a lot these days as our country continues to fracture and divide. But did you know that that idea, essentially a breaking up of the USA, has been part of the public debate since long before and long after the Civil War, right up to today? On our next show, you'll meet Richard Crichton, the author of this book, who says breaking up this great experiment called America might not be such a bad thing. That's on the next Black Table, right here on the Black Star Network.
Hi, I'm Israel Houghton with Israel and New Breed. Hi, I'm Carl Payne.
Hey, everybody, this is Sherry Shepherd. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered, and while he's doing Unfiltered, I'm practicing the wobble. I am. Because Roland Martin's the one, he will do it backwards. He will do it on the side. He messes everybody up when he gets into the wobble because he doesn't know how to do it, so he does it backwards. And it just messes me up every single time. So I'm working on it. I got it. You got Roland Martin.
All right, folks, the Republican Accountability PAC, they released this 30-second ad about Georgia Republican Senate hopeful Herschel Walker that features his ex-wife graphically describing him choking her and threatening to kill her during their marriage. Watch.
Do you think you know Herschel Walker? Well, think again. Listen to what his ex-wife had to say about him.
His eyes would become very evil. The guns and knives. I got into a few choking things with him. The first time he held the gun to my head, he held the gun to my temple and said he was going to blow my brains out.
Now, according to an Insider Advantage Fox 5 Atlanta poll, Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock has a 3-point lead over Walker. Gunnar Ramers, the political director of the Republican Accountability PAC. He joins us now from D.C. Gunnar, glad to have you here on Roland Martin Unfiltered. So first of all, folks who don't know, explain exactly what the Republican Accountability Project PAC is.
Yeah, so that's Republican Accountability Project. That is our C4. Republican Accountability PAC is our PAC. And we're a bunch of Republicans, former Republicans, and conservatives who cannot stand Donald Trump's takeover of the Republican Party. And the Herschel Walker candidacy is no greater example of, sadly, Donald Trump owns the Republican Party, and we're going to push back as hard as we can against those types of candidates.
So you guys are still Republicans.
Yes.
But as I know, Michael Steele and so many others, they say they're still Republicans, but they despise how this party has gone all in accepting Donald Trump.
That's right. I like to tell people I grew up with dogs named Nixon and Reagan, and I sort of admired John McCain and Mitt Romney. But, you know, as Donald Trump made his way through the Republican presidential primary in 2016, it became clear that something within the Republican Party was changing. And post the 2020 November election, when Donald Trump lost, and post January 6th, there was some hope that maybe the Republican Party was going to go in a different direction and move on from Donald Trump. But since January 6th and through today, it is very clear that a vast majority of Republican primary voters, Republican elected officials and candidates, they run on the Stop the Steal message on an America First MAGA agenda. And as long as that's the current Republican Party, I'd rather try to beat those candidates than help them succeed.
So let's talk about this particular ad here. Bottom line is, that is Herschel Walker's ex-wife, where she talks about in an interview what she endured being married to Herschel Walker. Here's someone talking about family values, talking about violence, talking about police, things along those lines. And this is a man who's routinely lied about his business practices. He's lied about saying he was an FBI agent. He's lied about all sorts of stuff. But this is absolutely violent behavior how he acted in a marriage.
Yeah, that's right. Part of the ad is saying that is trying to say that Herschel Walker is unfit to be a United States Senator. He constantly lies, as you mentioned, both about his personal life and about the 2020 election, and his past behavior is disqualifying. And I just want to get to the lies and the laundry list of lies that Herschel Walker has. He lied about belonging to law enforcement, being an FBI agent, the success of his businesses he lied about. He's lied about being the valedictorian at his high school. He wasn't. He lied about being a top of his class at the University of Georgia and graduating. He didn't graduate from the University of Georgia. He lied to his own campaign staff about how many children he has. And, recent comments from his campaign staff say, they don't even trust him. And one more point about Herschel Walker is he has said a bunch of ridiculous things that are outlandish, as we call them on our website. Things about evolution and climate change and those sorts of things. But we cannot forget the lies that Herschel Walker told about the 2020 election that completely sowed distrust in our democratic, small d democratic political system. Right after the election, Herschel Walker was saying the swing votes that Joe Biden won, we all need them to vote again. He was spreading conspiracy theories about Dominion voting systems. He was calling on Georgia to not certify election results. And he spread conspiracy theories over who was at the January 6th insurrection. That type of Republican is unacceptable to be in charge. Yet Donald Trump and the Republican establishment has rallied around him despite all of this.
One of the things that I sit here and I think about, you take Eric Erickson, prominent conservative there in Georgia, radio talk show host. Sure. And I worked with him, we were at CNN. And what amazes me is these people know. They know Herschel Walker's an idiot. They know this man is flat out incompetent and has no business in the United States Senate. I mean, he literally is on the same dumb scale as Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville, former college football coach. Yet because they are so consumed with power, and I said this to Chris Christie on ABC, and I said it to other Republicans before, they do not care about patriotism. They don't care about character, morals, values, or integrity. What they care about is power. That is being in power. And that, to me, is what is so shameful.
I could not agree with more with that, and that is why we are launching this campaign. And I will just say that the ad that you played earlier, that we put on television and through digital ads as well, is important. But we also have a bunch of Republican voters in the state who are saying, guess what? I am not voting for Herschel Walker in November 2022. This has nothing to do with Brian Kemp, the gubernatorial race. This has nothing to do with the Secretary of State race. What this campaign is all about is former Republicans, conservatives who are standing up to the Republican establishment, to Donald Trump. And they're the same exact voters that in 2020 decided the election for Joe Biden. They just decided to vote for Joe Biden. They left the top of the ticket blank, or they voted third party. And they didn't vote for Perdue or Kelly Loeffler. And these same voters are not going to be voting for Herschel Walker. So it's a losing strategy.
Now, one of the issues that even come up, Walker has been running from debates. He really does not want to debate Senator Raphael Warnock because he said all kind of crazy stuff. And here's Walker now talking about this whole issue of debating Warnock.
Senator Raphael Warnock wants to debate you. You didn't debate during the primaries where you walked away with 68% of the Republican votes. Why won't you commit to a debate?
Well, first of all, Senator Warnock has nothing else to talk about. He don't want to talk about the high gas prices. He don't want to talk about the high groceries. I've told him many times, I'm ready to debate him anytime, any day. I just want to make it for the fans, not about a political party or about some media. And all he's doing is talking. I want to make it a fair and equitable debate for the people.
Are you worried about the moderator?
No, what I like him to do, and he knows this. There's a lot of outlets that want to host this debate. And I'm saying, let's get together. I'm willing to cross the aisle and talk to him and say, who's going to host this debate? Not do it on his terms, but do it on the terms that the people can see the contrast between he and I, where I don't want men and women's sports. I'm not going to have that. I don't want to see high gas prices. I want to see the crime stop. Those are things he voted for, which he don't want to admit. So he need an answer to that because the Georgia people are talking. They want him to answer a question, not just him to continue to talk to the media.
So he said, so you will debate, but you just want to make sure the rules and the moderator is something you want to have a say in.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right. But it seems like he want to have a say in it because he want to continue to hide behind other people rather than him getting out, doing what he's supposed to do is represent the people, which he hasn't done a good job at it.
Right.
Being a leader, he's not good at it.
Okay, Gunnar, I'm trying to understand something here. When there's a debate, you can bring it however you want. So to say, Warnock won't discuss these things, dude, you can bring up any topic that you want.
Yeah, listen, when you analyze across the country the types of Republicans that Donald Trump has endorsed that are making their way through the primaries, the one major trend is that a lot of not so polished candidates are winning. And in an otherwise unfavorable environment for Democrats in 2022, voters are concerned about inflation, the economy, and gas prices, those sorts of things. The candidate quality is so poor among these Republicans that, Republicans aren't going to be able to take advantage of this national environment. And Herschel Walker is a great example of this. He doesn't have a heavy policy platform and knows how to solve the issues facing Georgians or Americans. Senator Warnock is an experienced politician who's won statewide office before, and that contrast is going to matter. And so it remains to be seen if Herschel Walker and Raphael Warnock debate. But I think that even if we're the debate to occur, I think Herschel Walker will look ridiculous because, as he has gone before the campaign throughout this whole campaign cycle, he has not been a very strong candidate, and that still matters in politics today.
Absolutely, it does. Gunnar, we certainly appreciate you joining us on today's show, talking about this particular ad. I follow y'all. I see a lot of the ads that y'all are posting. And one of the things you also do, post Republicans, even former Republicans or even current Republicans who would say they are absolutely dissatisfied and disgusted with the direction of today's Republican Party.
Yeah, I mean, that's the bulk of our effort here, too, is, we have those flashy Herschel Walker type political ads, but we also do political ads where it's just everyday voters who, feel like they didn't leave the Republican Party left them, and we use them as a credible messenger to talk to, reluctant Republicans who are sort of dismayed over the current Republican Party but are skeptical about voting for the Democratic Party, and we use our credible messengers. And I'm in touch with them every single day, and they're absolutely amazing supporters and the real heart of our organization. And, we use them to appeal to those swing voters on the fence that in 2020 decided the election for Joe Biden.
All right.
And beat Donald Trump.
Well, we certainly appreciate it, sir. Thanks for joining us, and look forward to seeing more of those ads.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so very much. I'll go back to my panel here. Julian, the thing that really jumps out at me here, and I hear some folks who are liberal or progressive say things like, well, you really shouldn't trust these people. You shouldn't trust the Lincoln Project, these folks. They're the ones who, they support Republicans in the past. But these are people who are making it clear they do not stand with this man. And I think there is value to having Republicans or former Republicans make it clear and be public in their opposition to Donald Trump.
Absolutely, Roland. I think that, we know people like Michael Steele. They are Republicans, but they eschew the way their party has been moving. For that former president and his people to push up this inarticulate, barbaric individual as a Senate nominee, taking a gun to his ex-wife's head, knives. To lift somebody like that up and say that's your nominee for the United States Senate is repugnant. And the entirety of the interview that he had talking about a debate, the inarticulation is chilling. I do not want a young Black child to be looking up to that, to even have to be exposed to that. I'm just stunned at the ignorance of that man. But even more than that, I'm stunned at the gullibility of Republicans who would do anything to get power, going so low as to really scrape not even the bottom of the barrel, but below the barrel to find somebody like that. And so, of course, the Michael Steeles of the world, the young man, the Gunnar gentleman that you had on, these are Republicans who love their party, but they don't love its current direction. And there's some of them who have enormous courage, like Liz Cheney, who will probably lose her election, but she stands for something. I'm not a member of her fan club before, but right now I have mad respect for her. And more Republicans are looking at this saying, what is this? Understanding, Roland, that our political system, as flawed as it is, depends on a two-party system. We have independents, we have those folks, but the two-party system, electoral college, all that hinges on that. And the Republican Party right now is corrupt, it's ignorant, and it basically celebrates ignorance and theft. That's what it celebrates.
Brianna?
Yes, I think that It's because of the two-party system, right? There's supposedly a new third party that's kind of come about.
No,
and there's always
it's not. That's an Andrew Yang pipe dream.
Well, right. He thinks that there's going to be in whatever. But I mean, there's other parties, but they're not relevant actually in our political scheme.
Precisely.
But I think that what we see is, the Tea Party that started with Cuckoo, I Can See Russia from Alaska, and that surgeon and playing off of that type of Republican, and then what people said, well, no, we're not Republican because we're racist, or no, we like to be fiscally conservative. And then we had this proliferation of showing, well, okay, we say this, and then that's pretext for something else. And so I see that there's more of a distancing of it. And now what they're calling the Tea Party is, Trumpers, right? Trumpettes, or whatever.
No. So remember, the Tea Party was a faction of the Republican Party.
And I think the Trump people are a faction of the Republican Party.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They are the Republican Party. See, here's the whole deal. It's all the same thing. And the reason it's all the same thing is because when you look at what they have all accepted, when you look at the candidates they have accepted, when you look at who they're voting for, there is no, and this Omakongo was the biggest mistake of Hillary Clinton, and it was the mistake of Joe Biden. It was the mistake of Hillary Clinton in 2016, and the mistake of Joe Biden in 2020. They kept trying to say MAGA, Trump supporters, Republican Party. No, they're all the same.
They are the same now, and I think that they made sure that they did that because they knew that when they just called themselves their Tea Party and was on the outside, they couldn't get in. And so the exact same thing you're saying, okay, you're saying Biden and you're saying Clinton. Well, one thing that AOC said was if it was any other country where we didn't have such bipolarization of Democrat and Republican, then we would AOC wouldn't be on the same ticket as a Democrat as Biden.
But look, are there, first of all, I'm not having another country conversation. There are two parties in America. There are two major parties in America. First of all,
major parties.
The Libertarian is a party, Green Party. You have multiple parties in New York State, workers' family, different parties. But the reality is this here. And even in New York State, guess who's on the ballot? Republican or Democrat, or you can run as an independent. Now, we had at a time, the Reform Party became somewhat significant. Ross Perot running for president. But the bottom line in 92 and 96. But the reality is this here. There are two parties. And what I'm trying to say is the mistake of Hillary Clinton was she bought into the fallacy that the real Republican Party was going to reject the crazies. No, those are their voters. And
so
Joe Biden.
You argue that people like the Lincoln Project and the new PAC that you just brought on is trying to think that if that's true, that the Republican people are going to listen to these ads and actually care.
Yes, because here's why. They're not trying to flip all of them. The Lincoln Project folks said, our goal is to move no more than 3%. Mm-hmm. See, here's the mistake here's the mistake that sometimes we make. People think, oh, if we could get all of them to shift. No. Mm-mm. The margins are so small. If 1% shifts, if 2% shifts, elections change. This is why, Omakongo, I thought it was stupid of Biden and Democrats to be saying ultra MAGA. Because if you say ultra MAGA is bad, then MAGA is okay.
That's right. That's right.
What I keep arguing is the entire Republican Party must be defeated. Mm-hmm. If you are a Republican and you stand with Donald Trump, and you stand with that MAGA focus of voter suppression and everything else, you must go.
No, absolutely. I mean, and what Trump has done is very Hitler-esque. At the end of the day, Hitler never had more than a third of support, from the voters. Donald Trump's been doing all of this with pretty much about a third, 30, 33%. It may go up to 35 sometimes. In terms of his base, it hasn't been growing to 40, 50, 60%. So just like what you said with the Lincoln Project and this other organization, they're working to chip away at just a small enough percentage, because as ignorant as Herschel Walker is, as misogynistic as he is, as violent as he is, this man should be a poster for red flag laws. The fact of the matter is he's still tied up, almost tied with Warnock, at Senator Warnock, at 48% and 45%, because they still have people who don't care for black intellect, don't care for real black Republicans who could actually challenge Senator Warnock. They just believe that there's still another black person in the race. And when you saw Herschel Walker talking, how many times did he mention something like, I want to do this in front of the fans? And treating it like it was
the fans.
Yeah, right? Treating like it's some type of sporting event. That's how they see us. And so we have to continue to work for, and look, people talk about the Democrats are not united, but I don't see AOC or Bernie Sanders putting out ads like this about Biden and Vice President Harris. I mean, this is the time to destroy these individuals and this party, this MAGA party right now, because they are more disunited than the Democrats. And I don't care what anybody says. For them to do what they did with abortion, for them to do what they did on voting rights, for them to do what they're doing in terms of screwing the poor in every way, shape, and form, there should be no reason why they should repeat history and win again in 2022, as all of these media outlets are predicting. That, and let's not forget the insurrection. That they can still get all of that and possibly still win, it's a shame on us if we don't overwhelm them. So I'm glad you had Gunnar on in this organization, because we need to keep working with them to get these MAGA folks out of office in every way, shape, and form, from dog catcher all the way down to potential president later on.
And Julian, we are seeing a shift take place. This was a tweet for the first time. The folks at 538, go to my iPad, please. Their model shows Democrats with a 60-40 advantage in the race for the United States Senate, as they begin to forecast the chances of controlling the United States Senate. There's no doubt that the abortion decision by the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade was huge. But the reality is, and you don't see it in the polling numbers, but when you look at the economic data, Julian, 528,000 jobs added. When you look at gas prices have dropped more than 50 consecutive straight days. When you look at this bill just passed by the United States Senate, the House will take it up. The reality is this here, and one of the problems, Julian, with Democrats is they spend more time bitching about what's not in a bill passed as opposed to celebrating what's actually in a bill that they passed. And so they have had successes. They actually exist despite it being 50-50 in the United States Senate. Now you got to go out and sell it. And I think that what we're seeing people now understand how lethal and sick and evil and demented these Republicans are. When you're seeing them elect during their primaries, election deniers, folks who don't want to certify results. I mean, these people are hell-bent on destroying this country. They cannot be allowed near any elected office.
You're absolutely right, Roland. I mean, and you're right about the Democrats' inability, utter inability to trumpet their successes. You said 500,000 jobs from the jobs report last week. 500,000. Most economists were suggesting 200, 250,000, doubling expectations. Even though the black unemployment rate is still twice the white rate, I just had to say that. But we still did see 500,000 jobs created. As you said, gas prices dropping by about $1 in the course of 2 months. 2 months ago, we were bemoaning how high gas prices were. Now we're seeing them $4.41, $4.30. I mean, this is progress. But somehow Democratic pundits and publicists are not telling the good news. Biden has wind beneath his wings now. The Democratic Party has wind. Look at what happened in Kansas with abortion. Red state, Kansas. Red state. conservative. But they're like, oh no, y'all have gone entirely too far. And so I think you're seeing a lot of that. Even as Liz Cheney is probably going to be voted out of office, what we also see is her and her evil daddy, who, someone said that Trump was the most dangerous person in the United States. I think Cheney was in his day. But in any case, her evil daddy talking about how dangerous Trump is. And this is because people are looking at what has happened, but so many people have been brainwashed. Omar Congo made a really good point earlier when he talked about that 1/3, that hard nut 1/3. But it's worse than the hard nut 1/3 because those hard nuts, they are nuts. These election deniers in Arizona, the person who's likely to be Secretary of State is an election denier who said they would not have essentially certified the 2020 election. But I think that that's good. I'm glad they said it because it's horrifying people. People are becoming horrified. It's like, what has happened to our nation? And so, it really is over time. And I don't think that Republicans are going to turn Democrat, but I think there are a whole lot of Republicans who are having second thoughts about the direction our country is going in.
Not only that, the New Yorker has a new piece out. Omar Congo, I heard when you mentioned the generals and folks. Y'all really should go read this article. I mean, I'm talking about seriously. It's called Inside the War Between Trump and His Generals. Folks, these generals knew what was going on. They saw how crazy these people were. And they made it clear they wanted no part of the attempt to overthrow this country. And here's the deal. This is why I take this theme beyond Trump. There are Republicans right now in the Senate, in the House, Brianna, who flat out went along with this. Mm-hmm. Ain't said a word, refused to testify before the January 6th committee. These folks desperately want to be, they have been having meetings. They are already plotting the game plan to completely take over the federal government, to fire thousands of government workers. And they are on record as saying they are going to install their loyalists. They are studying the mistakes Trump made 16 to 20, and they say, we're gonna fix it.
Yeah, we see the former Michigan Attorney General now under investigation for tampering. Just the fact that they try to find fake electorates, it's crazy. And I'm hoping, I know that there is, I forgot his name, but he's running for governor on the Republican side in Pennsylvania. And he's testifying against the committee on about the January 6th hearings. And I hope that he has some remorse, but I don't think so, because they feel like the more that they side with this, they're getting a certain segment of people. And we've seen from Gibbs in Michigan to Margin Records in Arizona, who's now the Republican nominee for governor as well, them being elevated. So this is really a good tester for this midterms to see. And unfortunately, we saw what happened in Virginia when we lost that governorship, and we kept on talking. And I remember we had, Roland, you and I had the conversation about, where you're pushing that this is just a Trump candidate and we need to know more about the candidate, et cetera. And we saw that we lost that election. So I'm not quite sure if we're still holding on or still tired from 2016 to hear the Trump messaging, but I'm hoping that now that we see the January 6th and now that we see what happened, in 2020, that people aren't tired and realizing that this is serious, because honestly, they've been planning for an infiltration, right? And people ignored it and like, oh no, you're being extreme or whatnot. And now we see it on TV. They're still hoping, just like we see the police, that people are going to get tired or ignore it. But within these midterms, we'll see if, where the nation wants to shift. right? Are we going to let these people who are, say, take our nation back to the 1900s, actually have more leadership, or are we going to replace these people? We had a sitting Congress member actually walk people through, and we saw it in the hearings, walk people through the Capitol and point and take pictures so they knew where to go and so forth. And, even Pence, up until like the day before, really, when he was like, oh, wait, I might get in trouble legally. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit different. He was playing into a lot of that. So we saw the people that we're now trying to paint as, okay, these are Trump Republicans, and there's these like you said, they're all one party, but there was people who were behind Trump and then slowly shifted away, and we're celebrating the shifting away, but it's to what point? And are we having enough of these people who are running now and other current elected officials actually shifting away? And that's the problem. Or are they being quiet and plotting still, and we're just not seeing the upfront of it? Because some of these plots have been put in place for a while. Trump was very just in your face with it. I don't care, and no one's going to do anything against me. We're still having arguments about whether or not he's going to be prosecuted, right? And we've seen all these things go on and on and on.
Right.
And so there's some people who literally think that they're above the law in America.
Well, what they're doing, I'm telling you right now, with the plans that they've laid out, Axios had a report on that on Congo. It is stunning. It is scary, and I just keep saying you cannot let even one of these people back into power. Not even one on any level.
This is what Malcolm Nance has been talking about in every interview we've seen him do recently, talking to everyone. We are months away from the possible end of democracy coming this midterm election. And when you talk about that New Yorker article, and you see what General Milley, who was going to resign, and you see when he's talking with Kelly and others, and Trump is literally saying things, I want generals like Hitler had. And they're like, what are you talking about? You mean like, generals who are just completely loyal to you? And he was like, yeah, like Hitler had. And he was like, yo, the generals tried to assassinate Hitler like 3 times, right? It's like, but that's what his mindset is. He has this romantic view of how everything happened during Nazi Germany. That article also talked about, remember how, the veterans had got screwed by the Republicans last week? He talks about how Trump saw these foreign army celebrations or celebrations where they were marching the army, but he was mad that they had people who were disabled veterans at the rallies, and he wanted to do the same thing for the 4th of July, but was like, don't let the disabled vets be out there. I don't want people to see them. This man is evil, he's cruel, and he has this fascination with dictatorships, and he was fighting his general. And I always wondered, why didn't some of these generals resign? But I respect the fact that Milley and others said, I decided to stay because I was afraid who was going to come after me. Because these are guys who actually had principles and morals, even if we don't agree with everything that they did. But the fundamental idea of we need to preserve this country, as imperfect as it is, we need to preserve it so we can continue to make it better. Like you said, Roland, they got the plan for him coming in again. None of those guys will be there, and it will literally be the end. We cannot let that happen.
No, we absolutely cannot allow it to happen. All right, folks, hold tight 1 second. Got to go to a break. Coming up next on Roland Martin Unfiltered, our Black and Missing. We'll tell you exactly who this person is. Also, more news of the day involving a crazy story out of D.C. Strange. A training exercise leads to the death of a cop. And those white racists who killed Ahmaud Arbery, y'all gonna spend a long time in state and federal prison. We'll tell you what happened today in a courtroom. Folks, don't forget, please hit that like button if you're on Instagram, Facebook, if you're watching on TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitch, as well as Twitter. Hit all of the different buttons, folks. And please, we want you to support us in what we do by downloading the Black Star Network app, Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV, and of course, our goal this month, y'all, is to raise $100,000 from our fan base. The goal is to get 2,000 fans contributing on average $50 each. 2,000 times 50 is 100,000. $4.19 a month, 13 cents a day. That's what it costs you. And look, I'm real clear. What you're getting this show 2 hours a day. Faraji Muhammad's show 2 hours a day. Deborah Owens' weekly show on wealth management, finances. Jackie Hood Martin's show on wellness and balanced living. You're getting Dr. Greg Carr's weekly show on history and culture. You're getting Stephanie Humphrey's weekly show on the show for entrepreneurs. You're getting Rolling with Roland every 2 weeks. Great interviews coming up, folks. Laz Alonso, Michael Ealy. We're going to have just some great Sally Richardson Whitfield, Flex Alexander. We're going to have Ray Chu, Trevor Jackson, some absolutely fabulous conversations. All of that is coming up. So support us in what we do. Send a check or a money order to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is RolandSMartin.com. And there are folks, again, who have been really supporting us. And I'm just going to read some names. Keep the graphic up, please. Again, Terrell Beasley, thank you so much. Patricia Mason Robinson, we appreciate you as well. James, Corey Pearson, Melanie Bowen Sumner, Joey Moore, Kiana. Let me also thank Joanne Billiard, Willie Hunt, Jeffrey Carter, Devon P., Briante Brewer, Brenda Shakur, Gregory, Dion Blassingame, Danielle McGee, Jerry Goodwin, D'Emmanuel Lockhart, Charles Slocum, Fatima Morgan, Leora Sr., Anthony Baker, Wanda Canada, Trudella, Superbad Theater Company, Tonda Hook, Marcus Gutner, Janae, Tracy Maxey, Kimberly Dominique, Jamel Thomas, LaDon, Mike, Rita Reed, Gregory Harris, Robert Brown, Dexter Adams, Providence Natural Soaps, Santa Teresa, David, Varda Pleasant. Let's see, someone goes by 6 a.m. Let's see here. Joy Jenkins, Carmen Buchanan, Ramon. Let's see here. Fellowship of Purpose, Priscilla Smith, Stephen Thornton, Carla Taylor, Joan Warren, Colette, Angela Brown, Alicia Lindsay. All thank you so much. Those are all the folks who've given us via Cash App. I'll read some of the others in before we go to the next break. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Back in a moment.
When we invest in ourselves, we're investing in what's next for all of us. Growing, creating, making moves that move us all forward. Together, we are Black beyond measure.
On the next, A Balanced Life with me, Dr. Jackie, getting back to normal. Is there such a thing? We're about to send our kids back to school when we literally have more questions than there are answers. What does it mean to have a normalcy? How will our kids respond to it? And how are we going to assist them? What can you do to help your kids feel some sense of emotional stability as they go back into the classroom here on A Balanced Life on the Black Star Network?
When we invest in ourselves, our glow, our vision, our vibe, we all shine. Together, we are Black beyond measure.
We're all impacted by the culture, whether we know it or not. From politics to music and entertainment, it's a huge part of our lives, and we're going to talk about it every day right here on The Culture with me, Faraji Muhammad, only on the Black Star Network.
Hi, I'm El DeBarge.
Hey, yo, Peace World. What's going on? It's the Love King of R&B, Raheem Devon, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Janaria Thompson was last seen in Greensboro, North Carolina on July 15th. The 14-year-old is 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighs 177 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Anyone with information about Janaria Thompson should call the Greensboro, North Carolina Police Department at 336-373-2222, 336-373-2222. All right, folks, let's talk about the story out of Georgia, where the 3 white men who killed Ahmaud Arbery appeared before a federal judge today to get their sentencing in that particular case. And folks, it did not go well for all 3 of them, thank goodness. In today's courtroom, you see right there, William Roddy Bryan, Travis McMichael, Gregory McMichael. Those are those racists who killed Ahmaud Arbery. It was the one in the center, Travis McMichael, who fired the fatal shot who killed him. Guess what? He was sentenced to life in prison in state court. His punk ass was spending life in prison in federal prison plus 10 years. The U.S. District Court judge also denied Travis's plea to serve his sentence in federal prison. He will do his federal sentence concurrently with his state sentence. Now, Gregory McMichael, pull him back up. I want everybody to see these punks in their orange, okay? I want to see them in their orange. And that is, you see, Gregory McMichael received a life sentence for his role in Arbery's death. William Roddy Bryan, who recorded Arbery's killing, yep, he got 35 years in prison. Ahmaud's mother, Wanda, says she knows her son is pleased and has found it in her heart to forgive the men who killed her son.
I can say that I accepted the apology. Being the person that I am, I think now that he realized that he made some horrible decisions back in February. Unfortunately, his apology doesn't bring back my son, but I do accept the apology. I'm good right now. We finally have gotten justice for Ahmaud again. I know that Ahmaud is pleased with the work that we've done as a community, as we held together as a family. I know he's in heaven, he's pleased. And with that being said, I'm pleased as well.
The thing here to me, Julian, when you look at this particular case here, again, I keep saying this point. I wish the Biden White House would wake the hell up. This is what happens when you have an aggressive Department of Justice Civil Rights Division. What Christian Clark, the former head of the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law, what they are doing is vitally important, the role they played in this case and so many others.
Absolutely. I think it's wonderful news. Not only is it they're guilty at the state level, they're guilty at the federal level. The Department of Justice is doing a good job. Again, you're right, Roland. This is a kind of victory we need to basically trumpet. This is the kind of victory that the Biden administration needs to talk about. Not only the appointment of Merrick Garland, who is a little bit slow, but okay. But Christian Clark is not slow. She has been really like a pit bull on some of these cases. She has not dropped the ball. She has pushed forward, and it's really important. This is why you have to have these federal civil rights laws, and basically violation of people's civil rights. And we wish that there were more cases like this. We know that when whoever the orange orangutan put in, I forgot, he was irrelevant, but whoever, they started basically changing consent decrees. Now we have the opportunity to go back and look at some of these cities like Baltimore and other places where people's civil rights are being systematically denied. And I think that we saw a video earlier in the program in Macomb, Mississippi. Okay, Christian, come get them. Come get them. That's all I got to say.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see that. And the thing for me, Omakongo, and the reason I'm going to keep doing this, I don't care when I keep calling the Biden people out. Look, you have a DOJ that's actually winning. They are sending folks to prison. I don't understand why they're not touting that. Frankly, if you're Biden, pay a visit to the Department of Justice and give a speech there talking about the great successes of the Civil Rights Division. putting corrections officers and wardens in prison, putting people committing hate crimes in prison, holding police departments accountable. I'm like, what? This is a no-brainer. It's a win. Learn how to celebrate your wins.
Man, and I'm telling you, like, this story alone, what the DOJ is doing, Kristen Clark and what they're doing, this is reason alone for us to make sure Republicans don't come back into office. In addition to everything we talked about in the last segment, we are starting to see accountability coming from the top down. And at the end of the day, these families deserve it. And the Biden administration is, like you said, is doing a terrible. They need to hire you, man, or give some more of that money, like you said, that percentage of the advertising, the black media outlets, so we can do more of it. Because this
damn
is
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is phenomenal work right here, and there's more to come. And for the McMichaels, when I'm sitting there looking at their apologies, and the father said, I didn't have any malice in my heart that day. What the hell? For real? Like, how do you just fix your lips to say that?
Lying ass.
You know what I'm saying? You brought your son into this. And as the mom said, she was like, when I first started hearing the story, she said, I had to do a double take because I couldn't imagine that a father would do that with their son. Like a parent would do that with their child. And now they're all going to, prison forever. This other guy's getting 35 years. And so you guys at home, one of the McMichaels apologized to his family for what he did. Think about what's going to happen to y'all next time y'all decide to go out and commit one of these crimes. You're going to lose your job, you're going to lose your rights, and you're going to lose the ability to take care of your family. You got to ask yourself, is the racism worth it? Because as Dr. King said, we can't legislate morality, but we can regulate behavior. There's just some behavior being regulated right now, and they deserve every day that they got.
Yo, look, Brianna, look, it's not my role, because I did not lose a son, did not lose a brother or a cousin. But I can tell you something right now. I'm trying to keep this throat coat, keep my throat straight. I got to finish my audio book tomorrow. But Brianna, I was really about to say what I want to say.
You wouldn't accept the damn apology?
What I was really about to say, well, let me just go, F the apology.
Right. Yeah, I don't have any children, but I know I presume that I would not be accepting anybody's apology, and that apology does not bring him back. And to talk about the malice, maybe they weren't educated enough to know what the word malice was, so they maybe have said that they didn't have any malice.
They dumbasses. They can't.
Right.
Brianna, they can't even spell malice.
Exactly. But the reality is, just like I stated before, is there's some people who think that they're above the law. And don't forget that it was originally they said, oh, you know what? Don't arrest him. Oh, drop it. Don't put the case in, because he was a former officer. They had a little fraternity. They had their little vigilante justice, but now they want to make sure that they're in federal court so that they don't get killed, because in Georgia state, they're afraid of getting killed. Well, you took matters into your own hand. So the irony is there. And I'm glad to see that, they're getting their justice. But unfortunately, it doesn't bring them back. And so, she says she forgives him. Maybe that's what she needed to say for her healing, because it's a hard time. But yeah, I wouldn't forgive.
Well, that's fine. Look, hey, somebody said if you're a good Christian, you're supposed to forgive him. That's true. Shit didn't say forgive today.
That's real.
I'm just saying. All right, y'all. This story out of D.C. is absolutely crazy, okay? So on Thursday, this guy named Jesse Porter, he's a private contractor. He was conducting training on how to use a retractable baton in a library. At the end of the training, Porter fired a shot that killed a 25-year-old librarian officer, Marisha Mannion, 25 years old, y'all. Officials don't know why Porter was using his firearm in the training on non-lethal methods. He's supposed to be an expert in this. Seriously, she's a child, she's dead. Crazy. He now is going to be facing murder charges as well. All right, folks, let's talk about in Alabama, where a police department, they're all gone. whole police department over a racist incident. It's been dissolved. That's right, folks. The City Council of Vincent, Alabama, about 45 minutes from Birmingham, voted to dissolve the entire department after a racist text message was sent by one of its 3 officers surfaced on social media. In the text message, a screenshot shows someone identified as 752 writing a racist message about slavery to an unidentified recipient. Now, here's the racial makeup of Vincent, Alabama, okay? 1,493 whites, 384 blacks, 8 Native Americans, 2 Asians, other 58 Hispanics, Latinos, 37. The city will rely on the Shelby County Sheriff's Office to respond to emergency calls for at least the next year. Well, first of all, I mean, I'm glad to see that the city council take the action. But this is what we were talking about earlier in the show, Omakongo, where you have these racists that are in police departments. We have done this story numerous times when there was this private Facebook group where there were police officers from agencies all around the country on this group, on this Facebook group, using racist language, posting all sorts of things, and they exposed these racists in St. Louis and Philadelphia and all across the country. And these are people with badges and guns who are stopping black people at a higher rate than anybody else.
Absolutely. And too many of these things at a higher rate are leading to us being physically hurt and actually killed in many instances as well. And we talked about this in another show when we were talking about that police department where they resigned after that sister was hired as well. And quite honestly, I'm so happy when I see these stories about these departments getting dissolved, because it's less work for the leadership to have to do. This is also a great opportunity for black folks to step up as relates to getting involved in law enforcement, because if a whole department is gone, that means you don't have to go in there worried about racism. You can get in there and build something from the top up, and this from the bottom up, I should say. And this also connects to our last segment, because we're seeing that many of these politicians who are getting in power are starting to take bigger steps towards challenging these police departments. And we know with these police unions, they are one of the biggest supporters of politicians, and people have been scared to do that over the years. But people have been, these politicians are responding to the people who are saying enough is enough. We're tired of seeing us get killed. We're tired of seeing the racism. We're tired of seeing the disproportionality, even things like tickets that are being assessed in our communities. So really, at the end of the day, we need to continue to put the pressure on these people. We need to continue to expose them in social media and places where, quote unquote, traditional media won't do their job. And I'm glad that these small departments, 3 officers, 5 officers, 7 officers, are getting this type of exposure, because this is happening all across the country, north, south, east, and west, and they've been getting away with it for far too long. So I'm glad that this is happening, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this department rebuilds itself. And brothers and sisters, this is a great time for us to start to make our way in there.
That's one of the things that I want to talk about here. Rudy Giuliani, he tried to delay his testimony before the grand jury on tomorrow in Georgia, dealing with, of course, the election tampering. DA was like, bring your punk ass in. That ain't gonna work. Sorry. That's exactly what should be happening, Brianna. These thugs are desperately trying to get out of this, and the reality is they got the goods. They got this fool on tape asking them to overthrow the election and go find the votes. Oh, I hope DA Fannie Willis just indict all these punks. Every single one. Trump, Giuliani, indict that punk, send Lindsey Graham, indict that punk, who's the Powell, the attorney. They all thought the woman.
Yep.
That's right.
Sidney Powell.
Sidney Powell. All of them punks. All of them thugs. All of them are domestic terrorists, what they tried January 6th.
Giuliani is an attorney. I'm pretty positive they disbarred him, so he can no longer practice, and I'm sure he's going to be serving his time. And they were circling the wagons, right? And it was Giuliani who was supposed to uphold him, and he was their attorney and so forth. And they're taking everyone around Trump down, except for Trump. And so what I'm hoping at the end of all these January 6th, first of all, not the postponement, just like I said, the people who are running right now, we want to hear from them now, not later, about what their involvement was January 6th and if they have any remorse and when they snapped out, or if they're going to say what really happened. Because at this point, when we've seen the video, we've seen what's happened. And we need to know if they're going to make, like I said, if they're going to be remorseful. And so I don't think so. But I'm glad that they're arresting them. And at the end of this, I would like if they indict Trump. And they're prologuing that, in my opinion. And I know that this is supposed to do, so everybody knows what's happened. And it's just not a political thing. And, it's the jury in the eyes right now. We're the jury, and we're showing the case little by little. And I just hope that they actually do the indictment. But it's not looking like they're going to actually indict Trump. But we shall see.
But hold up, who are you talking about? I mean, that's not true. I mean, this investigation in Georgia is talking to all of them. And so that's why they're having the grand jury. So when you say that they're not going to indict them, who are you talking about?
The reason that they're actually trying to now remove the prosecutor in Georgia shows stuff that they're politically trying to get rid of her job. Also, the Supreme Court writing the opinion that things can't happen during the election season. I think that the
No, hold on, no, Brianna, you're mixing two things. The Department of Justice's decision with regards to indictments, that applies to federal. That has absolutely no jurisdiction with regards to Fannie Willis, the Georgia DA. That's federal. If the grand jury hears testimony in Georgia and they return an indictment and one of them is Donald Trump, what the feds do has nothing to do with this state.
It's going to be. And I think that's why they're trying to remove her, and they're making it very political this election.
No, they're trying. They're trying to remove her because they just issued subpoenas and they're moving forward. Them trying to remove her is the Trump people and whatever they're doing. That's not stopping her from what she's doing.
Not right now, but it can. Or a mistrial.
No, it can't be a Okay. First of all, there's no trial. If the grand jury returns the indictment, then they go to trial. So they can't, they're losing. They're like literally losing right now. They're losing, and Fannie Willis's investigation is continuing. They've been trying to stop it. They can't. Lindsey Graham tried to say, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to testify. He went to South Carolina court to try to get them to stop. And they said, we ain't got no jurisdiction in Georgia. So he has to appear. And so the bottom line is Fannie Lewis is putting the heat on him. You got two black women. You get Letitia James, New York State Attorney General, who's pursuing the civil case, and Donald Trump has lost on every level there. He has to testify. He is soon testifying before her. They interviewed Donald Trump Jr. just last week. So that's civil. With Fannie Willis, that is a criminal investigation. So this notion that she's not going to indict him, there's nothing that says that's not going to happen. What she's doing, she ain't Merrick Garland.
That's right.
So she's not. And that to me, and I think, Julian, the greatest potential of indicting Donald Trump is in Georgia, because they literally have the audio tape of him on record saying, go find me those 11,000 votes.
Absolutely. That was the telling clip, if you will. And Georgia is a great, I don't understand where my sister is coming from in terms of saying that he's not going to be indicted. He's very likely to be indicted in Georgia. He's very likely also to see charges in New York. The fact is that you can run, but you cannot hide. Like Dr. Maya used to always say, truth is a stubborn fact and a lie will die. And what this man has been talking about election denial, he won. That's a lie that's going to die. We're going to see it die. This is really amazing, not only because it's two Black women attorneys, superb attorneys who are at the top of their game, but it's also because the chickens are coming home to roost. And people are looking at this. While you have election deniers all over the country, you also have election believers who believe the numbers. And when somebody has been so precise as to tell you how many votes they want you to find, that is nothing but cheating, lying, stealing. That's all it is. And again, he's so darn dumb that he put it on tape. And, how dumb can you be? Well, about as dumb as Herschel Walker. But let me stop, because I don't want to cast aspersions on the ignorant. All I want to say is that, Roland, this is a great moment for democracy, and we have to fight for this moment to continue. We have to fight for this. And I just all praise to the sister. All power to her and Letitia James in New York. These women are basically saying, we're willing, as imperfect as our democracy is, we're willing to fight for it.
Well, you talk about what's going on, and I'm going to sit here and do a further happy dance, because pull up the breaking news banner. Oh, pull up the breaking news banner, y'all. Guess what? Just a few moments ago, punk-ass Donald Trump released a long statement, y'all. In his long statement, he was whining and complaining. Why? Because Donald Trump, y'all, had some visitors today. Oh, they were not the good visitors. Ooh, go ahead and show it. Look at the visitors he had at Mar-a-Lago. The FBI searches Mar-a-Lago, Trump says. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They even broke into my safe, the former president says. Ain't that something? Oh, that little punk, he's so mad. He upset. The FBI said, hey, player, what's going on? Now, I told y'all, remember, they took those top secret documents to the crib. Remember and all those papers in the Library of Congress. They also had something to say about this. Now, look, the FBI has not stated what the raid was about, but we do know there's a raid, because somebody ain't happy. Somebody got an attitude. Somebody is really, really upset with what went down. So, y'all, he done released a statement. He's upset. I'm trying to find a statement because, I'm just going to revel. Oh, here it is right here. Oh, let me go ahead and blow this up. Let me just go ahead and blow this up. Y'all, here's a statement by the punk ass, I will never call him president. These are dark times for our nation, as my beautiful home, Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, is currently under siege, raided, and occupied by a large group of FBI agents. Nothing like this has ever happened to a president of the United States before. Well, Donald, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna pick it up in a second. Well, that's because, Donald, because you a punk ass. That's because you a thug. That's because you a crook. That's because, one, you no longer the president. You no longer are protected by the Department of Justice. So now you upset because they are holding you accountable. Oh, I thought you were Mr. Law and Order. I thought you were Mr. Follow the Law, follow the rules. I thought you were nobody above anything else. Well, if the FBI showed up at your crib, they must have a reason, because the FBI, Donald, cannot obtain a search warrant unless they show strong probable cause that a crime has been committed. Go back to the statement, please. Pick it up here. This is what he says. After working and cooperating with the relevant government agencies, this unannounced raid on my home was not necessary or appropriate. Well, Donald, let me help you out. Normally, when the FBI knocks on your door, they don't send your ass an email. Normally, when they show up, They don't call your lawyer ahead of time. That's what the FBI does. You would think your dumb ass would know that for being in the Oval Office for 4 years, when the FBI did that to many other people as well, including all them punks who work for you, Paul Manafort and all the rest of them who got raided by the FBI. Or that fool who was in the Department of Justice where they had him standing outside in his underwear and took his paperwork, and then John Eastman, the attorney, when they snatched his cell phone. Go on back to this old punk-ass statement so I can read the rest of it here, okay? Here we go. Okay, y'all, let me pull it back up. Y'all don't have it up here? All right, let me go ahead and let's see. Do you see it now? Okay, go ahead and pull it up. Then he goes, it is prosecutorial misconduct. Weaponization, ain't this some shit? This punk ass actually said, y'all, the weaponization of the justice system after the bullshit that he did for 4 years using the DOJ against his own damn, I'll leave it up, using DOJ against people. Then he says, and an attack by radical left Democrats who desperately don't want me to run for president in 2024, especially based on recent polls, and who will likewise do anything to stop Republicans and conservatives in the upcoming midterm elections. Well, first of all, Donald, the recent polls show Biden and Kamala Harris could whoop your ass in the election, so we know you lying again. Then this fool goes, such an assault could only take place in broken third world countries. Sadly, America has now become one of those countries, corrupt at a level not seen before. They even broke into my safe. What is the difference between this and Watergate, where operatives broke into the Democratic National Committee? Here, in reverse, Democrats broke into the home of the 45th president of the United States. Y'all,
wow.
I ain't done. And put this tea down. Y'all, if you are so stupid to invoke Watergate, y'all do know there were crooks behind Watergate, and you do know that they all went to prison, including the former Attorney General, John Mitchell, including John Dean, a lawyer for him. Y'all, these boys so damn stupid. Go ahead. I need to read more of this here because I need more comedy. Then the dumbass gonna talk in the third term. The political persecution of President Donald J. Trump has been going on for years with the now fully debunked Russia scam. Really, you gotta repeat it 3 times? Impeachment hoax number 1. Nope, your punk ass was convicted. Then he says, impeachment hoax number 2. No, your punk ass led January 6th and tipped the coup of the country, and so much more. It just never ends. It is political targeting at the highest level. Nope, because your dumb ass keep doing it. Hillary Clinton was allowed to delete and acid wash 33,000 emails after they were subpoenaed by Congress. Do you really want to bring that up, Donald? After we now know your punk ass was flushing documents down the toilet? Do you want to bring that up? We now know your Secret Service and the FBI was sitting here erasing damn text messages. Do you want us to really have that conversation, Donald, when your Department of Homeland Security wiped their damn phones so we don't know what happened between your top Pentagon officials on January 5th, January 6th, or January 7th? Do you really want to say that? Oh, come on, Donald. Pull it back up. Let me finish reading the rest for this damn fool. He goes, absolutely nothing has happened to hold her accountable. She even took antique furniture and other items from the White House. This the same dumbass, y'all, who took some stuff they gave him from the White House. Man, this man's stupid. Go on back to the doggone thing. I ain't done reading it yet. This fool said, I stood up to America's bureaucratic corruption. Y'all, the dumbass was impeached the first time for trying to withhold money from Ukraine to force him to investigate Joe Biden. Oh, lying ass. I restore power to the people. Who the hell do you think he is? An electrician? No. And truly delivered for our country. Really? Is that what this fool said? Yeah, I'm telling you, it gets funnier. Let me read the rest of it. And then he says at the end here, he goes, the establishment hated it. Now, as they watch my endorsed candidates win big victories, a whole bunch of them lost. and see my dominance in all polls. DeSantis beat your ass in a CPAC poll over the weekend, fool. They're trying to stop me and the Republican Party once more. You goddamn right. We try to stop all you damn crooks from being in office again. The lawlessness, political persecution, and witch hunt must be exposed and stopped. I will continue to fight for the great American people. Well, Donald, guess what? The only persecution that's going to be stopped, that's going to be exposed, is your ass and what you did on January 6th. And what you did and all your folks leading up to it. Now we know, because the generals are talking about what you punks did. Now, guess what? The fool who is Doug Mastriano, the Republican nominee for governor of Florida, his ass is appearing before the January 6th committee tomorrow. What we're now seeing is the January 6th committee, all the dominoes are falling. They're falling on the Congo. And this fool here, now they get scared. Because see, you don't release a statement like this here when your ass is confident you ain't do nothing. And trust me, there's no federal judge in America that will take lightly the FBI conducting a raid on the home of a former president. None anywhere in the country. So yeah, I say, like my man in the movie, How High? Get him.
Wow, man, you laid it down. You laid it down. That was a service right there for serious sermon. Look, at the end of the day, like, this is amazing. And what's so powerful about this is that everything we've been talking about has been about the Department of Justice, but the FBI specifically, we've seen so little from them. And so to know that they were the ones who conducted this, last time I checked, I believe Christopher Wray is a Republican, and I think he was also appointed by Trump and stayed on when Biden came on. So all of this talk about the Democrats are doing this, the Democrats are doing that, that just doesn't fly. And we're seeing why the January 6th hearings were important. They've led to so much information being put out there. We talked about the two sisters, and James and Willis as well. Let's also add Representative Clyburn in there. So we got a brother and two sisters who have been actively taking the fight to Donald Trump, and we are starting to see the results of this. This is a beautiful day, because at the end of the day, the Trump enterprise ran a criminal enterprise. And the reason why so much information is out there and becoming available through these commissions and investigations is because, Roland, at the end of the day, they thought they were going to win. Imagine what you would
get away with it.
That's right. If you thought you can do anything and you couldn't lose, they put it all out there, and it's all coming back. And so to see this right now, to see this raid and to see this, man, I hope it's the beginning of the end, because really at the end of the day, he's done enough to not be able to have an opportunity to run for a second term after the first impeachment. But there's no shame in his game, and he keeps going. He is not going to stop until he is stopped point blank. And I think we're going to get there.
Brianna?
I don't think we're going to get there.
Come on, Brianna, no!
Until I see him behind bars, I'm not going to celebrate. I want to see him behind bars.
Oh, no, damn that. I'm going to celebrate every step of the way. I'm going to celebrate the raid. I'm going to celebrate the indictment. I'm going to celebrate the conviction. So you damn right. But go ahead.
I'm going to celebrate the conviction. I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, you can leave it that all you want to, but guess what? I'm happy to see that punk-ass Julian sitting here mad that he got raided. I'm happy. Oh, my God, they broke into my safe. Yo, punk-ass, that's what the FBI does. You never see the FBI go into a house and say, hey, look in the drawers, look under the bed, look in the closet, hey, skip the safe. Dumbass, that's the first place they go.
Roland, you enjoyed that so much.
You damn right I did.
I enjoyed watching you enjoy it because, like I said, oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Even if he is not convicted, Brianna, the fact that the FBI put him in his place, said, they went in my safe. You know what? They probably went in your underwear drawer too, you know? And I'm thrilled. I am thrilled. He may not get convicted, but he certainly is likely to get indicted. And the fact is that I don't care whether he was a president or not. What he is I'm not going to use Roland's language. I'm going to let him use it. But anyway, this is a big fool. Is an idiot. And we knew that the whole time. The fact is that, again, chickens have come home to roost. You can't do this stuff. You can't do this stuff in a democracy and think you're going to get away with it. Now, he may not be convicted, but guess what? He is tarnished forever. He was already tarnished forever, but he is tarnished. He is on record as being a crook. His fingerprints, are on the stuff he stole. And I can't say enough. His statement is typical of his whining, pathetic, victimhood. That's what he's a victim. But no, he's not a victim. He's a crook who got caught. And I will celebrate along with you, Miss Brianna, when he's behind bars, like Roland, I'm going to celebrate every step of the way.
Look, I don't care. You can sit here and talk about, oh my goodness, and this man here, what he, look, at the end of the day, what we dealing with is a thug.
Yep.
And so this how I feel.
The church is started now.
I'm gonna get a second workout. Trump getting indicted. When the FBI came down and traveled to Mar-a-Lago. Somebody call the cops. Oh, I love it. Y'all know we about to see a lot of whining on Fox News tonight. Oh, Lord, Tucker gonna be sick. Lord, Laura Ingraham gonna be outside her mind. And you know Sean Hannity just gonna be just apoplectic. I love it. Let me go ahead and go to a break. We come back, we're gonna talk Fit Live Win. But I just love to see. Matter of fact, go ahead and do this here. I'm gonna do Fit Live Win. I'm gonna take some phone calls. Go ahead and throw the phone number up. I'm gonna take some phone calls. Just wanna get y'all thoughts about this punk having an FBI raid his crib. I feel so good, we gonna just go ahead and open a phone line. Y'all know, it's like, the church doors are now open, y'all. You get the comment on Donald Trump, the FBI visiting his crib. So y'all got the graphic ready? Go ahead and put it up. Y'all can go ahead and call the number. Y'all putting together, go ahead and get ready to call the number. I'll have it after the next break. Y'all got it? Go ahead and give us a call, 202-890-1199. The church doors are open for y'all to weigh in on Donald Trump having the FBI visit his crib. 202-890-1199. 202-890-1199. We'll be back on the Blackest Show on digital, linear television, where we keep it real. And guess what? FBI ain't coming here. Back in a moment. And near for Donald.
Sexy to me is the exact same feeling as running water, ever flowing. Water always finds a way to get through. And so when you know that you're sexy, there are no questions about it. It is an ever-flowing emotion. It is an ever-flowing feeling. Mm-hmm. When you question it, though, you stop the water. I struggle with this a lot, mainly because I've been told what sexy should look like, what it should feel like. As a model who did Sports Illustrated, you're told that this is what sells sexy, but then you travel the world and what's sexy to one person is not sexy to another person. I'm more of a mindfuck kind of person. How can you stimulate the brain? Mm-hmm. To me, that's sexy.
When we invest in ourselves, we all shine. Together, we are Black beyond measure.
Next on the Black Table with me, Greg Carr. Succession. We're hearing that word pop up a lot these days as our country continues to fracture and divide. But did you know that idea essentially a breaking up of the USA, has been part of the public debate since long before and long after the Civil War, right up to today. On our next show, you'll meet Richard Crichton, the author of this book, who says breaking up this great experiment called America might not be such a bad thing. That's on the next Black Table, right here on the Black Star Network.
When we invest in ourselves, we're investing in what's next for all of us. Growing, creating, making moves that move us all forward. Together, we are Black beyond measure.
Carl Payne pretended to be Roland Martin. Holla!
You are watching Roland Martin, and I'm on his show today, and it's, what, huh? You should have some cue cards.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Jacob Lattimore, and you're now watching Roland Martin right now.
All right, y'all, intermittent fasting, alternate day fasting, what can you do to lose weight? You hear all the people talk about this here. It's like, you know, the hottest thing. People are like, okay, what do I do? What is it? Does it make any sense whatsoever? Dooley is the founder of the Effect Fitness in Atlanta, here to break the difference down between fasting and dieting. Dooley, glad to have you here. So first of all, what do you make of, again, the latest craze, intermittent fasting? Oh, if you just do that, that's the trick. That's like the magic bullet.
Roland, like you said, thank you for having me, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a big difference between diet and fasting. Like when you start thinking about people dieting, they're looking for a quick fix. They're trying to lose some pounds and stuff like that, man. So dieting is just all surface. When you start thinking about people fasting, it's a little bit more spiritual, a little bit more religious. So the difference between diet and fasting, like with that diet, it's like you're looking for something quick. You want to like try to let's share some pounds for your birthday before you go on a trip. But with fasting, it's a little bit deeper. You know what I mean? Most people make it religious. They want to give up something with this Lent or anything like that. So it's a big difference between diet and fasting. They both work. They both work.
Okay. All right. So if they both work, then okay. So when we say fasting, okay, what is that? Are you fasting 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours? Is it a certain time of the day?
Yeah, most people try to fast in the mornings. Like I said, you try to think by late at night you want to stop, you want to cut all the eating out. So most people it is your body's at like its optimal burning stage early in the mornings. So when you wake up, if you notice, most people wake up hungry. So you waking up, your body should be just burning. That's when you should start fasting, in my opinion. So you thinking about early morning up until after lunch. And then by that time, it's time to work out. It's time to get busy, get moving. So your body's in its optimal burning stage early in the morning, man.
Okay. All right, then. And so right here, let's see. Now we're talking about alternate day fasting, alternating between a 24-hour fast day and feast day period. Explain that.
So you got to think about it. So you might have a day where I'm not eating no bread. I'm not eating no meat. And then the next day you might say between the hours of 12 and 6, I'm going to eat me a steak. I'm going to have me some chicken. And like I said, your body will be able to process and break that food down.
Okay. All right, then. Now, periodic fasting. Pull the graphic back up, y'all. Pull it back up. Thank you. Periodic fasting or whole day fasting, consecutive fasting of more than 24 hours. Explain that.
That's going to be a little tougher for people, Ron. That's why I said, I'm going to go on record, Ron. I'm going to throw my opinion out there, right? I don't want to do either right now. I want to eat for my blood type. I don't want to diet. I don't want to fast right now because both of these things are so hard to do for your common person, for your everyday person. But when you start eating for your blood type, now we know most of our bodies are made up of what we are, our blood type, whether you're O positive, AB, A, or just B. So when you start thinking about people that's dieting, fasting, etc., most people go start a new diet every other month, every other year. Like I said, it's so hard to do. It's so hard for people to stay consistent with it. But when you just start eating for your blood type, say me, I'm O positive, right? So I have a high protein diet. I should be eating meats. I should be eating veggies. But what I shouldn't be eating is I shouldn't be eating ice cream. I should stay away from dairy, all wheat, and all corn. Like if most people ate for their blood types, I think they'd be a little bit more successful instead of dieting or fasting. So that's just my opinion. But we're just talking about the difference between diet and fasting right now.
All right, and then let's talk about the whole dieting piece. When we talk about dieting, I mean, I hit all different types of deals. My man Terry Starks, the diet doctor, Instagram, he encourages, he says, look, you got to eat 5 times. He said, and you can't skip. He said, because part of the problem is when you try to skip, so people go, oh, I'm only going to eat once, eat twice. He said, you're actually causing more problems. He said,
your body starts storing fat. Your body will start storing fat. Your body will start to store fat. You got to think about it, man. Just imagine a person with a busy schedule, right? And you start thinking about, well, you want me to eat 5 times a day, but you work in TV like what you're saying. Like how it's gonna be tough. So you start thinking about a person like eating for their blood type. You gotta think your body will reject most foods if it ain't part of what you're supposed to be having.
All right, questions from the panel. First off, let's see here. Julian.
Okay, I'm diabetic, and that means I'm supposed to eat. The whole fasting thing, my doctor says doesn't work for me. What do you say?
Yeah, I wouldn't. So what's your blood type?
Oh.
See what I'm saying? What about meat? So if you notice, when you eat dairy, or if you eat wheat and corn, do you feel a little bit icky and stuff like that?
Not really. I don't eat that much wheat or corn. But I do eat yogurt every day, and it doesn't make me sick. I like it. But
yeah. So you got to think about it. Due to your blood type, you should have a high protein diet. You should have a lot of veggies. You should have some meat every day.
Okay.
Like I said, fasting might not. That's why I said diet and fasting may not be for everybody, but your blood type is what you are. Like your blood is your blood.
Okay.
I'm a Congo.
Yes, I really appreciate all of the work that you do and seeing you online. And I want to know, why is it that you feel like the industries out there, you don't do this, Roland doesn't do this, but the industry out there spends so much time talking about the diet, but not about the exercise portion of it as it relates to the lifestyle. What do you think about that?
Thank you for asking me that. When I first started in this thing, like I never talked to people about their diet or what they was eating when they came here. I wanted you to focus on something that you actually control. That's your consistency and your work ethic. Like when people come to Effect Fitness, the first thing that we don't throw you a meal plan. We want to see you learn to be consistent in taking care of your body, just showing up for yourself every day. So we never preach diet. We teach consistency, work ethic. Like I don't even feel I'm qualified to talk to you about a diet. But what I am qualified in is showing you hard work, doing it consistently every single day, and teaching you stuff like that. See, most people want to talk, most trainers or most fitness enthusiasts aren't even qualified to even talk about diet.
Wow.
So that's why they love to just throw that up in people's face, because they feel like, oh, that's going to be the fastest way to help you lose weight. Well, I don't want to help you lose weight fast. I want to help you build healthy habits. I want to teach you about the consistency component. And now we can work and we can grow.
Yes, sir.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on. I think you, in the beginning, made a great differentiation between dieting and fasting. I've always thought about fasting in the religious sense. Currently, right now, Greek Orthodox or Eastern Orthodox Christians, Catholics, are fasting right now with the Virgin Mary fast. And there's the Daniel fast, which Christians do at the beginning of January, which is, you said fasting as in not eating, but, sometimes also just refraining, which is usually vegan with no processed food,
no TV.
Just natural.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think of that as fasting, which can be incorporated as a lifestyle diet. So when I ask the question, I'm going to take fasting off the table because I think of it as more of a religious thing. But if we're trying to incorporate an everyday diet into our life, I heard you say I'm O positive too. And I heard you say something about eating more protein. So I know someone who said, like, if you're trying to work on keeping, mental strength and so forth, it's, 3 meals a day of 20 grams of protein, right? And so, like, if you're doing vegan, it might be harder to get that protein and so forth, but more of something that's sustainable that you could say, like, not like starving yourself, not keto, not going to extremes, but if you could give one advice on something that everyone can do, whether it's 20 grams of protein 3 times a day and look at the calories and then incorporate the exercise so you don't go over the calories, what is something that you think that could be sustainable where you don't crave something, but incorporate an everyday diet?
That's it. That's why diet and fasting they're so tough. Like I said, we try to teach people the definition. Like start with the workout. Like start with the thing that gets your body moving, that gets you going. Like I said, each person in the same workout might burn a different amount of calories. So I try not to count calories. I try not to count different things. What I try to focus on is making sure that you get inside of a workout and get your body moving. Start moving. Keep going. Because, like I said, most people in the same workout environment may not even burn the same calories. They could be doing the same exact exercises. But some people's bodies burn at different paces and different rates. So I always preach that blood type diet. And I thank Shauna, the vitamin lady, every day for introducing me to it. Like I said, the hardest thing is to do for people is the diet part. But if we can teach people to be consistent in their workouts, whether it's walking, whether it's sitting at your desk and raising your arms up and down, we try to teach people to work out first. Because once you learn to work out first, you won't even want to eat the bad stuff. You won't even, you know what I mean? You'll stop craving all those different things when the workout becomes the key ingredient.
Okay. All right, my man. I appreciate it. Tell people how they can reach you.
Effect Fitness, man. Follow us on Instagram. Same thing on Facebook. Download the app, man. Effect On Demand. Come follow us.
All right, then. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank y'all.
All right, folks. We're going to take some phone calls when we come back. Pull the number up, please. 202-890-1199. 202-890-1199. Want to get your thoughts. Again, on Donald Trump, FBI, dropping by the crib to pay him a little visit. Just to say hello. We're going to let Julianne Amakongo, Brianna take off. We thank them for being on the panel today. Thank you so very much for joining us on today's show. We appreciate it. Look forward to having y'all back. Call us, y'all, next. 202-890-1199. 202-890-1199. Folks, this is Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Back in a moment.
When we invest in ourselves, our glow, our vision, our vibe, we all shine. Together, we are black beyond measure.
On a next, A Balanced Life with me, Dr. Jackie, getting back to normal. Is there such a thing? We're about to send our kids back to school when we literally have more questions than there are answers. What does it mean to have a normalcy? How will our kids respond to it? And how are we going to assist them? What can you do to help your kids feel some sense of emotional stability as they go back into the classroom? Here on A Balanced Life on the Black Star Network.
When we invest in ourselves, we all shine. Together, we are black beyond measure.
We're all impacted by the culture, whether we know it or not. From politics to music and entertainment, it's a huge part of our lives, and we're going to talk about it every day right here on The Culture with me, Faraji Muhammad, only on the Black Star Network.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends, go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.
Time to be smart.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
Oh, no punches! Thank you, Roland Martin, for always giving voice to the issues.
Look for Roland Martin in the whirlwind, to quote Marcus Garvey again.
The video looks phenomenal, so I'm really excited to see it on my big screen.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
I got to defer to the brilliance of Dr. Carr
Star and to the brilliance of the Black Star Network.
I am rolling with Rolling all the way.
Honored to be on a show that you own. A black man owns the show.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Rolling was amazing on there.
Stay black. I love y'all.
I can't commend you enough about this platform that you've created for us to be able to share who we are, what we're doing in the world, and the impact that we're having.
Let's be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared. You dig? So a lot of y'all are always asking me about some of the pocket squares that I wear. Now, I don't know. Robert don't have one on. Now, I don't particularly like the white pocket squares. I don't like even the silk ones. And so I was reading GQ magazine a number of years ago, and I saw this guy who had this pocket square here, and it looks like a flower. This is called a shibori pocket square. This is how the Japanese manipulate the fabric to create this sort of flower effect. So I'm going to take it out and then place it in my hand so you see what it looks like. And I said, man, this is pretty cool. And so I tracked down, it took me a year to find a company that did it. And so they make these about 47 different colors. And so I love them because, again, as men, we don't have many accessories to wear, so we don't have many options. And so this is really a pretty cool pocket square. Now, what I love about this here is you saw when it's in the pocket, you know, it gives you that flower effect like that. But if I wanted to also, unlike other, because if I flip it and turn it over, it actually gives me a different type of texture. And so therefore it gives me a different look. So there you go. So if you actually want to get one of these shibori pocket squares, we have them in 47 different colors. All you got to do is go to RolandSMartin.com/pocket squares. So it's RolandSMartin.com/pocket squares. All you got to do is go to my website and you can actually get this. Now, for those of you who are members of our Bring the Funk fan club, there's a discount for you to get our pocket squares. That's why you also got to be a part of our Bring the Funk fan club. And so that's what we want you to do. And so it's pretty cool. So if you want to jazz your look up, you can do that. In addition, y'all see me with some of the feather pocket squares. My sister, who's a designer, she actually makes these. They're all custom made. So when you also go to the website, you can also order one of the customized feather pocket squares right there at RolandSMartin.com/pocket squares. So please do so. And of course, that goes to support the show. And again, if you're a Bring the Funk fan club member, you get a discount. This is why you should join the fan club.
On the next Get Wealthy with me, Deborah Owens, America's Wealth Coach, you see the headlines. All frightening, right? Interest rates are going up. The recession is on the way. The stock market is up and down. But you know what they say. Scared money don't make money. That's why I'm excited on our next Get Wealthy to have a conversation with someone who has written a new book, Fearless Finances, and she's going to share exactly what you need to do to secure your bag regardless of the ups and downs of the economy or the stock market.
Oftentimes you can start with as little as $5.
That's right here, only on Get Wealthy on Black Star Network.
On the next A Balanced Life with me, Dr. Jackie, getting back to normal. Is there such a thing? We're about to send our kids back to school when we literally have more questions than there are answers. What does it mean to have a normalcy? How will our kids respond to it? And how are we going to assist them? What can you do to help your kids feel some sense of emotional stability as they go back into the classroom here on A Balanced Life on the Black Star Network?
Next on the Black Table with me, Greg Carr. Succession. We're hearing that word pop up a lot these days as our country continues to fracture and divide. But did you know that that idea, essentially a breaking up of the USA, has been part of the public debate since long before and long after the Civil War, right up to today? On our next show, you'll meet Richard Crichton, the author of this book, who says breaking up this great experiment called America might not be such a bad thing. That's on the next Black Table, right here on the Black Star Network.
We're all impacted by the culture, whether we know it or not. From politics to music and entertainment, it's a huge part of our lives, and we're going to talk about it every day right here on The Culture with me, Faraji Muhammad, only on the Black Star Network.
Hey, yo, Peace World, what's going on? It's the Love King of R&B, Raheem Devon.
Hey, I'm Cupid, the maker of the Cupid Shuffle and the Wham Dance.
What's going on? This is Tobias Trevelyan. And if you're ready, you are listening to and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right, folks, welcome back to Roland Martin Unfiltered. As I said, Donald Trump, a little upset, y'all. The FBI raided Mar-a-Lago. Go to my iPad, please. Kelly O'Donnell, NBC News, tweeted this. The FBI notified the Secret Service that a warrant would be executed, and Secret Service facilitated access to the Florida Trump property as fellow agents, but did not take part in investigation or search. I read to you the statement where he is just a little upset that they went there. All right, we got some folks on the phone lines. Let's go to Marcus. Marcus, are you there? Can you hear me? Marcus, can you hear me? All right, I don't have Marcus, folks. Let me know what's going on. So can't hear Marcus at all. So we're trying to get the audio straight to hear Marcus. Go to the next person. Let me see if I can get the next person. Who we got? Daniel Ivy. Daniel, can you hear me? Daniel, can you hear me, Daniel? All right, so I don't know what's going on all right. I'm gonna see here, folks, if we've got any, if there's any video, if anybody had any video of the raid. Let me check. Let's see here. Checking videos right now to see what's going on. But you already know the Fox News people are already whining and complaining. Here's Dana Lash, conservative. They're upset. The law and order people are upset. Trump is being held responsible. Go to my iPad.
I mean, this was not the news I think that any of us were expecting to read about on a Monday evening. I would love to see what warrant, what reasoning they gave in the warrant. Of course, you know, I don't really know how much faith I want to put into warrants regarding Trump or regarding this crossfire hurricane or whatever nonsense that's being cooked up at this point, considering the fact that, Jesse, we still don't have anything other than a wrist slap for Kevin Kleinsmith, the guy who actually doctored emails removing exculpatory information from the CIA in order to obtain a FISA warrant to spy on innocent Americans who were helping out with Trump's campaign back in 2016. So I'm not really sure that I put a lot of stock in a lot of institutions, but I'm going to tell you something, Jesse? Democrats are gambling here. The FBI is being accused of being too involved in presidential elections, not just in 2016, but also in 2020. Unless they walk out with something huge.
All right, y'all, again, the Fox News meltdown has already started, and okay, so here's Alan Dershowitz, y'all, on Newsmax, so check this out.
Well, I suspect it has to do with some investigations leading toward Donald Trump and some of his associates, but again, the law is clear. You don't engage in a raid unless you've exhausted all the other remedies, unless you believe that the person raided will destroy the evidence. Raids are not a first recourse in America. They're a last recourse. And so the government will have to show a court eventually that they exhausted all other possibilities, or they had a reasonable basis for believing that the evidence would be destroyed if it was sought in the normal legal course of events through subpoena. Raids are a last resort, but today, in many instances, it's being used as a first resort. The same thing is true with they're supposed to be last resorts. You write a letter to the lawyer saying, please show up in front of a judge, and that's the way it usually works. But in order to get on television, they have a lot of these raids where people are arrested, put in handcuffs, sometimes put in leg shackles, bail denied. Presumption still applies, but it's applied only in theory, but not in practice.
Well, I'm laughing, y'all. Here's why I'm laughing. I'm cracking up. Okay, he goes, also last resort. You don't know what the hell they did. You don't know if Donald Trump has sat here and fought them, didn't give information. That's what's going on here. But I just love these people who, again, the law and order crowd, the people who are always about law and order and also the rule of law and following subpoenas. And then with Donald Trump, oh my goodness, this is not fair. All right, y'all, where are we with the phone calls? Can we not go to the phone calls? All right, y'all, I have no idea what's going on. We got a technical problem, not being able to pull the callers up. So I need that fixed. Okay, guys, we should be able to do callers every single day. I need that fixed. So we'll do this here. I see a whole bunch of y'all on the phone right now. And so are we going to have it fixed in the next 2 minutes? If not, what we doing? Yo, what we doing? Okay, all right, y'all, so here's the deal. Okay, I got a technical issue. They gonna figure this out. We're taking phone calls tomorrow, okay? I know a bunch of y'all on the phone lines right now. I apologize. This should be working, but for some reason, it's not. So here's what we're gonna do. We're absolutely gonna talk about this tomorrow. There's a whole bunch of y'all, of course, 3,000 plus on YouTube, folks who are watching right now. I know folks wanted to comment. So what we'll do is we're gonna be taking phone calls tomorrow to figure out this technical problem. Sorry about that, folks. I appreciate all of you for watching. We're definitely going to have a conversation. And again, taking phone calls tomorrow, getting your thoughts on the FBI raiding Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. We'll have more information tomorrow right here in Roland Martin Unfiltered, the Black Star Network. I'll see you then. Don't forget, download the Black Star Network app, all available platforms. Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. And of course, you also please support us in what we do with our Bring the Funk fan club. If you want to send a check or money order, P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Let me shout out Clarice Boswell, Rob Prelo, Kenneth Ramsey, Richard Pettigrew, Priscilla Smith, Jerlene Holbrook, Marlon Eric Youngblood, Doretha Gaffney, Victor Williams, Tommy Williams. Let me also, Terrell Beasley. I appreciate it. Patrice Mason Robinson, thank you so very much. Let me also shout out here. Give me a second. Let's see here. Who we got? Name not showing. Louis Lamb. Louis, I appreciate it as well, you as well. So thanks a lot. Folks, I'll see you tomorrow on Roland Martin Unfiltered. How?